I spent over 1,000 hours studying cold email. I've sent millions of emails and I've booked in hundreds of meetings. Now I'm about to hand you everything that I've learned in just this one video. So the first tip is going to be using a company lookalike scraper. As you see, I'm on AI Arc right here. Essentially what a company lookalike scraper allows you to do, pretty self-explanatory. It allows you to scrape similar companies to whatever domain that you put in here. So when this is beneficial is just say you're working with a client, you're getting them good results, or you have clients in a certain field and you want to expand in that same industry though, you can go ahead and put that client domain here and it's going to give you lookalike companies similar to that client. So for this example, I just grabbed a random M&A advisory domain. So I'll just go ahead and plug that in here. Just say this right here is the client that you're working closely with, you're getting them good results, and you want to reach out to clients that are similar because you have experience in the space. You're just going to go ahead, plug the domain in here. You're going to press lookalike, and you're just going to press search. Now, once again, this is in AI Arc. There's a bunch of different platforms that you can use this. I personally like AI Arc. So as you see here, it populated 29,000 companies that are similar to the domain that we just added in here. I would go to select all 10K. In AI Arc, you can only do 10K at a time. Then I would remove this one. And then I would just go to find people. And from there, it's going to give me all those people inside of that company. I would then go over to job role, and then I would filter for obviously founder, CEO, owner, obviously our decision makers. So we can go ahead and narrow this down. And now you're going to be able to reach out to businesses, and then of course you'll mess with the employee side, so you're not reaching out to Wells Fargo. You obviously shorten that and just kind of put in your filters here, but now you're going to be reaching out to companies that are similar to the companies that you're actually working with. All right, so now we have a little 2-for-1 special for you guys. So first we're going to go over a tip for copy and a tip for your offer. So when it comes to copy, an angle that we see to be very effective is referencing the prospect's top case study. So what this would look like, it would be super simple. It would be first name. Once again, you're going to have AI personalize the first line of the email, and it's going to scan the company website, and it's going to reference something about the prospect's top performing case study. So it'll say first name, and then it'll say, just say they are a staffing and recruiting firm. They placed a software engineer, right? First name, saw you guys placed a software engineer for XYZ company. If we could connect you with companies that are actively, that have roles open for software engineers, something along those lines, right? Obviously, your second line and your first line should be connected somehow, right? Like this second line here shouldn't be way off from what your first line said. It should complement your first line. But essentially what it's doing is it's referencing a top performing case study. And then you're basically saying, hey, if we could connect you with companies similar to that case study, to that prospect that you already got results for, would that be interesting? Would that be worth a chat? A low friction CTA. Now, the reason why this works is it's super short, it's very simple, and it's straight to the point, and it shows that you actually did your homework. And it sparks that curiosity as well. And then obviously you attach a low friction CTA to where they respond yes, and then you send them over the meeting link. Now, next step is going to be around your offer, and this is actually something we recently started implementing. It's going to be a 60-day trial. Now, the reason you want to do a 60-day trial is a lot of people are open to cold email, right? They're open to getting more leads, but they have doubts, they have skepticism if it'll actually work for them. So in order to prevent this, right, you can do a 60-day, what we like to call a trial period or a 60-day pilot. There's a couple of different ways you could structure this. You can do a pay per meeting basis, right? And then like a infra fee, or you can do a upfront fee that covers the entire 60 days, right? So it's up to you. The way I like to structure it is I like to add both and let the prospect choose, right? So they can either go with a, whatever you want to charge for infrastructure, on top of that, a pay per meeting basis, or alternatively, they can just go with an upfront fee. Now, a lot of the times they will go with the upfront fee just because if they do the math in their head, right, you book them over like 5 sales calls, then it's going to end up costing more than just paying upfront. Then once you prove out the offer after 60 days and actually prove what you're offering actually works, then that's when you lock them into something more long term, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, and then you can go ahead and raise the price to whatever retainer you want because you've already proved that it works. Okay, now next thing, and probably one of the most important things, is going to be setting up pre-call assets that your prospects watch before they ever hop on the call with you. This is going to make your prospect hop on the call super warm with all their questions answered. So how you're going to set this up, this is my calendar link right here. What this will look like, we'll say on Saturday, prospect books in. Now it's going to say confirmed, and it's going to redirect them to a confirmation page. You'll have testimonials or campaign data, whatever it is, to obviously show that this actually works. They'll greet the prospect. They'll be able to actually accept the meeting invite here, and then they're going to be able to watch all these videos. They're going to be able to put a face to the name, and all these videos are going to answer most of the frequently asked questions so that when they hop on the call, they're super nurtured and they've already got a majority of their questions answered. Now, something like this is going to separate you from any random agency who, they don't have this in place and the prospect just hops on and they have no idea what to expect. And as you see here, we have all of our YouTube videos listed as well. So the prospect could literally go through our YouTube videos. We have an about us section. Like by the time the prospect hops on the call, they are ready to go. They know exactly who we are, what we do, and there's no time wasted. Okay, now next, and also super important, is going to be tracking your data. So having a CRM. I cannot stress this enough. It is very important that you set this up, even if you're not getting like a crazy amount of interested responses or you're not booking a crazy amount of meetings. You want to set this up sooner before later, because once you do start to book meetings, once you do start to get an increased amount of interested responses, it's going to be so hard to try to then create this and maintain this, right? As you can see, even with our pipeline, it's a little unorganized at the moment. Still a lot of stuff we got to go through, but we basically have it structured to, we have our interested responses, 48 hours response, 7 days, 72 hours, you guys can see here. But it's super, super important that you track everything so that you know where all the leads are going and you're able to track what your bottlenecks are. Maybe your bottlenecks are you're not booking enough meetings, right? Maybe your interested response rate to booked meetings is super, super low, but you wouldn't know that if you weren't tracking your data and if you didn't have a CRM with all these leads in here. What I also like to do, and I've booked a lot of meetings and actually closed deals by just doing this, is I'll have, like, you can have your Claude basically go through the CRM and find all the leads that you sent a calendar link to that didn't book in, and then you can go ahead and dial them and get them back on the calendar, which is super, super beneficial. So definitely make sure that you have a CRM or some type of system in place. Now, another system that you can have in place is going to be Slack. Now, as you see here, this is what our Slack looks like. There's a bunch of stuff in here and a bunch of automations that you can set up in Slack, and this is where we communicate with our clients. And I would recommend you do the same. Slack is going to be really good for client experience and having like one-on-one channels for your clients, but you can also create different channels where you can track interested responses. So as you see here, I'm not going to scroll because I don't want to show any emails, but as you see here, when an interested response comes in, it's going to go ahead and prompt the suggest a reply. If I don't like that reply, I can go ahead and edit and send and put in my own reply and press send. Like I'm pressing send on Slack, but it's going to send through my sequencer. The cool thing about this is if you have Slack on your phone, you can literally edit a response. Just say you're out or you're away from your laptop and you can't respond, but an interested response comes through, you can literally respond through your phone. You can also put not qualified, or if you like the version that the AI wrote up, you can just go ahead and press send right there. Now, as you see, I already have it set up to where it has my signature. It already throws in our website, and then this is kind of what I'll tweak on my own. But Slack is super, super beneficial for setting something up where the biggest purpose is being able to respond on your phone, but then also not always having to go and check your sequencer. You're able to get alerts whenever any interested responses come through. Now, I hope you found value from this video, as I wish I would have known some of these things sooner. Some of these things I honestly just started implementing into my agency, but if you did find value, feel free to subscribe. I post cold email content weekly. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments below, and then I'll also drop my Instagram, so if you have any questions, you can also shoot me a DM there. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.